What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Cash It with Howard Bender and Adam Ronis, where we give you all the news you need for fantasy football, for betting football, betting basketball, baseball, you name it. We cover you all over the place. All sports here, baby. We are here courtesy of Fantasy Alarm. You can get on over to Fantasy Alarm and get yourself a little subscription over there if you like. Get all the content from me and from Adam Ronis over there at fantasyalarm.com/holiday. Use the promo code HOLIDAY and get yourself a nice little discount and a free swag bag. Ronis, you old so-and-so. Holidays coming up, man, this weekend. How are you fixing for the holidays? Are you excited for are you a holiday guy?
It doesn't feel like the holidays. Maybe it's because I have no kids or a big family, so it doesn't really feel any different to me. I mean, it's mostly going to be watching sports anyway. 5 NBA games on Christmas, 3 NFL games, although they kind of suck. But yeah, my holiday spirit was dampened a little bit, man. I had a horrible fantasy weekend, man. This feels like it's been one of the worst seasons I've ever had. My luck is just not there. And someone feels that maybe an ex cursed me because shit has just gone wrong for me this entire year.
Listen, I probably know an ex or two of yours who probably could have put a little hex on you, dude. We talk about this on the podcast all the time. I mean, it's funny. We talk about this being one of those times. This week here, and I was talking about this on the Fantasy Alarm show earlier today. Adam and I are recording this on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So that's the news that we have for the time being. So when we give you our picks, those are more leans. But you know what? I mean, listen, the game's on Saturday. It's pretty close. But I mean, listen, yeah, this was such a bizarre. I thought everything was fine on Saturday. The games were good. The Baltimore-Cleveland one was atrocious, but the two games that bookended it were both really good. And for fantasy purposes, I mean, it was, we had a lot of chalk hit. I mean, we had Jonathan Taylor go down, on the first play of the game or whatever that was. I lost him in one league. And, but I mean, Sunday was the day where it was just none of the chalk hit, none of the studs performed. It was, it was one of those days where I feel like the teams who made it into the, who advanced in the fantasy playoffs were the teams that were struggling to get into the playoffs, that had the random guys in their starting lineup because they couldn't do any better. For example, me in the FSGA, my team has just been decimated by injuries throughout the season. It's a 14-teamer and it's impossible to do. But somehow I ended up with glue and rubber bands putting this stupid team together. And I won this past week. I couldn't believe it. I won my playoff matchup this past week in the FSGA because the guys, team just didn't perform. And so I kind of feel like that's probably a little bit of a growing trend that we're seeing right now, is that a lot of the best teams in your fantasy playoffs probably lost this past week. So you can take some solace in that, can't you?
No, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. So I played in the RT Sports Championship. So they have the league championship in week 15, and then if you make it, you play in the overall championship for weeks 15, 16, and 17, which I'm still alive in, but I don't have the team to win that overall. So it started on Thursday. My opponent had Geno Smith and DK Metcalf. Okay, not that bad, right? Quarterback 17.7, Metcalf 12.5. Okay, not too bad. I looked at his team, pretty good matchups. Saturday comes. Justin Jefferson, 30.3 for me. Feeling good. Ravens defense, 4. Okay, whatever. It's a defense, right? And then, so it's a tight battle. He's got Kelsey. Kelsey didn't find the end zone, but 20.5. And then it was basically late in I guess it was the 4 p.m. games. So Mike Williams was sitting on 2 for 18, and he had Mike Williams. And it was I was seeing our deficit, okay, we're losing because I do this with Truck, our buddy who's in the GST league with you. And we have Christian Watson left. So Mike Williams is 2 for 18. The final drive, he makes 2 big plays. So he goes from 3.8 to 10.7. Doesn't sound like a lot, but those 7 points were crucial. Christian Kirk, 6 for 92. Nick Folk had a 50-yard field goal, 14.1. So, like, he didn't have anyone go off, but everyone gave him between 13 and 20. And then I have Zonovan Knight, 2.3. Greg Dulcich, 2.1. And then I needed 14.1 from Watson on Monday night to win. And it's looking bad early. He's not getting targets. And then, if you watch, I don't know how much you watched, the end of the game, there was a play, I think around 2 minutes, a little under 2. Watson was coming like to the sideline, caught a pass, and I have to watch it again. I think it looked like he fell down. I don't even know if he was tackled. I was like, damn it, there goes my opportunity. I needed him to score there. Then they run the ball with Aaron Jones to get a first down. I'm like, okay. Then they run a play. Aaron Rodgers signals on his hand and audible, he drops back, throws the pass towards Watson, who's not even looking. And then after that, the game's over. And then they interview Rodgers after. He goes, well, if you want to catch touchdowns, you got to run the right route. But then I saw something today that said that Rodgers makes it kind of complicated with his audibles to receivers, and guys like Jennings and Devontae, all these guys said the same thing in the past. So it was just brutal because I kind of knew I was done. And then I got that glimmer of hope with those 2 plays and wound up losing by 5.1. And you know I hate to fucking lose. And this shit just eats at me. And then, okay, now, all right, fine. I still have 2 teams alive. You want to guess what happens with those 2 teams who are playing this week?
I can only imagine.
Jalen Hurts is the quarterback on both teams, and one is a super flex league.
Well, I mean, listen, it's a good thing that you now have your choice of guys like Trace McSorley, or you could probably get Nick Foles is starting for the Colts this week.
I already got Gardner Minshew because in that league, I had the most. I had the most. There are 4 teams left. One person had $1, 2 and 0. I had 17. So just bid $2 on the players I wanted. I got Minshew and Zach Moss. Probably not playing Moss, but keep him away. And I'm playing Scott Angle, man. And then this dude gets Dallas Goedert back. Like, what the fuck? You could say what you want. Losing Jalen Hurts is massive. That guy's putting up 25 to 35 points every fucking week. Even last week, he didn't even throw a passing touchdown. He rushed for 3. So, look, there's nothing I can do. I know people are like, oh, he might play. He's not playing, bro. Vegas would not have moved the line like that. Although, maybe you remember, was there a situation like that this year where we thought a quarterback was out, they moved the line and wound up playing? I thought it happened this year. Am I wrong? I know I'm asking you on the spot. But can you recall anything like this where they moved the line and then the quarterback?
It does sound familiar. Right? I want to say it happened with like Minnesota, but it wasn't Cousins. It was whoever they were playing.
Okay. So I can't remember offhand, and I didn't do research on it, but my guess is he's not. Look, if you're Philly, there's no point in playing him if he has any type of injury. And I know he got hurt in the 3rd quarter and finished the game. Sometimes that's adrenaline, whatever. The soreness kicks in more. If you're Philly, you only need to win 1 of your next 3 to get the top seed. I would not play him this week. I would not play him next week. And if you somehow lose both games, which they probably won't happen, maybe they lose to Dallas, then they play the Saints, man. They ain't going to lose that game. And Minshew's not that massive of a downgrade. You know, this is the best array of weapons he's ever worked with. So they can win either of the next 2. And if they somehow lose both, okay, you bring him back to face the Giants in the final week, win that game and get the top seed. So it doesn't make any sense for Philly to play him if he has any type of pain. Like, you cannot risk it. You need him for the postseason. So I don't think he plays, but it's just like, it's one of those things. It's like, I have 2 teams that look good, and then now I'm probably not going to have Hurts this week. So it's just been that type of season for me where it feels like anything that could go wrong has.
Yeah, listen, there are a lot of us who think that. Was it Jameis Winston with the Saints, or maybe it was when
I don't think a line would move that much for Winston to Dalton, though.
Was it Tua though? Maybe it was Tua then.
Hey, I can't remember, man. But I mean, you know this. I mean, I was following it in real time. I was tweeting out. I was like, oh, wait a second. Dallas went from -1 to -6. Yeah. Hurts is something's probably wrong. And then 10, 15 minutes later, stories started to come out, and then Schefter and them started saying it. So, I mean, it was pretty obvious. I mean, there's no way Dallas was going to be favored by that much with Jalen Hurts playing. So, and it sucks as a Cowboys fan because that game means shit now because the Cowboys fucking do what they usually do. I was waiting for Philly to lose against Chicago just to make it worse. But I mean, all Dallas is playing for is pride at this point and to show, hey, we can beat Philly. But even if they win this game, it don't mean shit. Okay, wow, you beat them without Hurts. What does that do? Nothing. So the game really doesn't mean anything because Dallas is not winning all three and Philly's not losing all three. So the game just lost a lot of luster because of Dallas.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, listen, what the fuck is Dallas doing right now? Also, they the game against the Jags, the game against the
Texans,
Texans, and then even the week before that against the Colts, they looked like shit for 3 quarters.
Yeah, their problem is the secondary. They dusted them
in the fourth.
The injuries with Anthony Brown and Jordan, it's a problem. You saw they were getting picked on by Jacksonville. I mean, they just exposed them. So
Kelvin Joseph is terrible. Is there any way that Kelvin Joseph starts this week? Because if there is, I want to know who the Philly receiver is that's going to be opposite him.
Yeah, it's a problem for them right now. I mean, if their pass rush doesn't get home, then they're in trouble. So, the injuries have taken a toll in the secondary, and Diggs is a guy who gambles a lot and gets beat. So, yeah, it's a problem right now. And it's probably going to prevent them from making a deep run.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
I'm all broken up. I'm all broken up inside.
Yeah, I know. I'm just someone who works with 1,000 Cowboy fans, I'm sure.
It's amazing how many Cowboys fans I work with. Like I find that really kind of crazy. And you know what the interesting thing is that you're a New Yorker and you're a Cowboys fan. Jen Piacenti is from Texas and she's a Cowboys fan. Then I've got Glenn Colton, who's a New Yorker and a Cowboys fan. Then I got Bowden, I feel like he's more New England than he is Florida at this point. I mean, he lives down in Miami, but he grew up in the Boston, near the Boston area. So you guys are all over the place here. It's crazy for me. Crazy. I don't understand how you guys are all Cowboys fans. I know we can have this conversation about who's the front runner and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at. Like you and me, we're close enough in age that you remember the early Dallas Cowboys. God, they were excited. They were fun to watch. Do you remember what, I mean, I guess you're in the 80s, weren't you?
Yeah. First year I became a fan was 89 when they were actually terrible. Right. So right before they started. Yeah.
I forget how much older I am than you at times. 89. I'm like, shit, man. Damn. I don't know, man. You Cowboys fans drive me nuts. But so I got to be honest with you. I'm not really that bummed.
See, I'm not the cheerleader pom-poms Cowboy fan that Bowden is.
You're all cheerleader pom-poms.
No, I'm not. Dude,
Cowboys.
I just had a big argument with Fetsy after the Colts game. He's like, you got to be happy. I'm like, why should I be happy? He's like, they're doing good. I'm like, Fetsy, I have seen this so many fucking times over the years. I'm not getting excited in early December. The same shit happens every year. They do well, and what happens in the playoffs? So until they make that run and get to the NFC Championship and Super Bowl, why am I supposed to be happy for? I see this shit all the time. Yeah, it's great. They beat the Colts. Big deal. And then you see what happens last week against Jacksonville. So I've seen this shit too many times to get excited.
You're definitely more of a realist than most. I will give you that. But when shit's grooving, man, you are you're right up there with them.
No, I'm not, man. I'm really not. Again, that was after that Colts game. I was like pouring water on the fire that Fency was trying to. He's like, you got to be happy. I think the Cowboys. I'm like, I have seen this too many times, man. I've been through this. I don't want to get hopes real high. Yeah, they have a good team and they have the ability, but the bottom line is, you can't lose that game to Jacksonville. You just can't. I understand you have issues and Jacksonville's hot, but you had the lead, man. You got to close that out. And it wasn't on Dak. That throw was not a bad throw. It was low. Noah Brown couldn't catch it. It pops up in the air, and Jacksonville got the fortuitous bounce. But they lost it before then, man. Like Marvin Jones is getting open. Again, the secondary is a real problem, but it's just, and watch. You know what's going to happen? They'll go this week. They'll beat Philly. Oh, Cowboys are contender again. Again, if they beat Philly, it really doesn't mean much if Jalen Hurts don't play. I'm sorry. I said the same thing when they lost to Philly, and everyone was talking. I'm like, well, Cooper Rush was the quarterback, and that was his first big test, and he threw 3 picks. So, yeah, of course they were going to lose. It's going to be the same thing this time around. If Dallas wins, I'm not even sure they win the game. But say they do, I can't gloat and take credit in it if Jalen Hurts doesn't play. That's not their full team. That's not their quarterback. That's not the team you're going to see in the playoffs. So it don't mean shit.
Well, you are a man alone on the island of Cowboy then.
Yeah.
Because the talk that I have to endure on the regular, but all right, we can move on from that. There is like a ton of shit going on though that from a fantasy perspective, and listen, I think that we're all kind of getting hammered and waylaid with this stuff. It's like legit. I saw the rankings over at Fantasy Alarm, and if you guys don't know, Adam does weekly rankings for half point, full point, and standard leagues. And I got to tell you, man, I did not envy you with the quarterback situation this week.
Same thing last week too.
Here we go. We got
a terrible week.
We got Brock Purdy, who is questionable still, right? We got that happening. You've got Russell Wilson, who's coming back, but what's he worth? Colt McCoy is going to be out. Trace McSorley is going to be taking over. How the hell do you rank that situation? Nick Foles taking over in Indianapolis for Matt Ryan is, I don't know, for lack of a better word, vomitous. Gardner Minshew is going to start for the Eagles, most likely. You still have Desmond Ridder crapping it up for the Falcons. Zach Wilson's going to still lead the Jets. I mean, this is like, when was the last time that you saw Lamar Jackson's questionable? Tyler Huntley is technically questionable, but he'll probably be the one who starts. Kenny Pickett's returning from his concussion. Davis Mills back. Ryan Tannehill probably doesn't sound like he's going to fucking play either.
Yeah, they're saying his season might be over, man.
Malik Willis,
oh god, that's bad. They're gonna. They did this. I think they played Willis against Texas last time, and they ran the ball like 75 times and threw like 5 passes.
Oh yeah. I mean, Derrick Henry is your lock button play for all things DFS and season long.
See, and the thing is, most people will be like, "Well, it's the semifinals. Most people have their quarterback. Not if you have Jalen Hurts, And I don't want to put this person on blast, but we talk about this all the time. Know your league rules. Someone in my GST league has Jalen Hurts, no backup quarterback. They text me, how come my waiver wire ad drops are off? I'm like, because you can't make pickups anymore after week 14.
Wow.
Okay, so then I can so once waivers run, I could add someone. No, this is your roster for the playoffs. Oh, well, I guess it was a hell of a season. And I thought I was ready for them to blame me. And I had the screenshots ready. I said, I sent an email like in week 10 saying, hey, just a reminder.
I remember. I get it.
I sent it at the beginning of week 14, and it's on the message board where it has all the prize distributions and the rules. It says waiver wire closes week 14. And this guy played in the league last year. So he didn't complain. He didn't blame it. He's like, oh, I guess I forgot to read that. Yeah, you did. And now it's probably going to cost you. We did have a situation years ago where Tammy, who's in the league, wasn't her fault. She had 2 quarterbacks and both got hurt after waiver stopped. And she was in the running for an overall and obviously didn't win because she had no quarterback. So, we talk about it all the time. Read the rules. This is a, decent entry fee where you don't want to mess this up. And that team had a shot to win it all. And now they're like, if Hurts doesn't play, they're taking a 0 this week and probably won't advance.
Hey man, that happened to me last year in the GST playoffs. I didn't have a kicker. I didn't have a backup kicker.
Well, you knew the rules, so you just decided to go that way, right?
No, yeah, you know what? I knew the rules. I just spaced getting the backup kicker.
Okay.
I was like, I don't need a backup defense, right? I need a backup tight end to make sure that I make the playoff run. I got a backup, quarterback. So I was just kind of, I was making all my moves and stuff like that. And I think I just kind of forgot to add that second kicker. And as it would happen, my kicker got hurt and I couldn't pick anybody up.
Yeah. So, it's very important to know your league rules. And I say that all the time. And I know people are probably like, oh, it's so basic. How could you not know? It happens every year. There's someone who doesn't know, they don't read it, whatever it is. I mean, just like anything in life, you got to pay attention to details if you want to be successful. I mean, this, you've managed people. There's so many people that don't read things and they just assume things. And if you want to be successful in life, you've got to pay attention to details.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, man. 100%. I mean, listen, it's no different than signing a contract where you don't read the fine print.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't, like if you're going and buying a home, you're not signing away shit without reading it thoroughly, or at least having a lawyer look through it.
That's the key. If you don't know the vernacular, you get a lawyer.
Yeah. If you can't figure out your league rules, then ask somebody to explain them to you. And I'll tell you what, man, because I talk to people in our Discord at Fantasy Alarm all the time. And it's crazy how some people don't read the rules or read how to do something. And like here's the example. Do you know how few people out there know that on like Yahoo or ESPN, when you're setting fab bids up, that you should set up contingency bids? Like, I want $8 on Ryan Tannehill, drop, drop Zach Wilson. And then after that, then you go, I want $6 on Malik Willis, drop Zach Wilson, $4 on Kirk Cousins, drop Zach Wilson. Like, you set up contingency bids for yourself. So that way, if you don't get that first guy, you're not being skipped on waivers completely. It's going to the next player you have. Do you know how many people have no idea that you can do that?
Yeah. I mean, you should see mine sometimes, especially I'll put in like 15 for one player, a lot of them at the end $1. Like, I know it takes time, but hey, if you want to win and be successful at anything in life, you got to put in time. If you just put in 2 players, especially if they're popular pickups that week, you're not going to get them. And I don't know what it is. I guess, people not paying attention to detail, people not investing the time. I know waivers can be a pain in the ass. It's tedious, but hey, if you signed up to play fantasy, football, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, there's injuries, things happen. You got to be aggressive on the waiver wire. I mean, I always say this, go back and look championship teams you won. Look at the team you drafted or look at the roster from day one. Look at it at the end of the year. More than guaranteed, you're going to see anywhere from 35 to 65% of the roster has changed. There's going to be times you nail the draft and a lot of guys stay healthy. Very unlikely in football, but your roster, major turnover, getting those key players off the waiver wire is important. And you just got to put in the time and work. And, we're here, at Fantasy Alarm, providing all the content and these podcasts and our shows to help you, make it easier. We understand you have lives and you work. We try to break it down for you, but you still have to invest a little time by putting in the contingency bids. I mean, I can show you weeks where you're like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't play around. I put in a ton. Even this week, in a semifinal week where, all right, no one else probably needs a quarterback. I still put in 5 quarterbacks, dropping a player because I had Jalen Hurts.
I kid you not. I blew this dude's mind. I blew his mind when I sat there explaining setting up contingency bids. And it was just, I would like to think that it was the rarity and not the norm, but I could probably crowdsource, and I bet you there would be a significant percentage of people who just didn't even think about that, didn't even think to do something like that. And it's, and that's one of those, it's crazy. It's just one of those things that, you talk about, reading the league rule, you learn stuff like that. And it's, wow. Oh, it's so funny, man. I went on this whole thing to open up the Fantasy Alarm show today. talking about like people just getting crazy now with the playoffs and doing crazy dumb things with their roster. Like sitting there and, like I get it. There are certain cases like, if I'm sitting there and there's four of us left in the league and you lose Jalen Hurts and it's a super flex league and I've got a roster spot to give, right? I've got like an extra kicker, tight end for no good reason. Then I'll go and I'll make a bid on the last QB available just to block that person. But people are sitting there talking about like, what was the I don't remember who the player was that they want. There was a QB that they wanted to pick up for a block, and they were like, and I'll just drop Jamal Williams. And I'm like, what? Why would you do that? And he was like, well, because Jamal Williams is like my fourth running back. I don't, I'm not going to start him. Yeah, but like, what's the flex position looking like on your opponent or somebody else who's in the semifinals right now? Like you're dropping a guy who's got 15 touchdowns on the year so that you could pick up one of these three shitty quarterbacks that your opponent is looking to grab. Like that, like it's stuff like that I see. Did we talk about Chris Moore, you and I?
I don't think so.
So last week, everybody was totally in on Chris Moore because of what happened in the Cowboys game, right? Chris Moore abuses Kelvin Joseph. Fact. But like all of a sudden, everybody was like, Chris Moore, I got to get him. He's in a great matchup. I don't know who was Houston playing? Oh, they were playing Kansas City. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, game script says that they got to throw and this and that. And people are sitting there legit. I mean, aside from saying stupid shit like I'm going to bench Jalen Waddle because of the weather, all right, we're talking about Chris Moore. And I'm like, why are you getting sucked into this shit? Why are you fucking around with Jeff Driscoll as your tight end? Like, why are you and I equated it to you watch like a team like the Saints march down the field, go down like, 85 yards. Alvin Kamara, a couple of runs, couple of passes to Chris Olave, a couple of passes to Juwan Johnson. They look great. They look good. And then all of a sudden you get inside the fucking red zone and you're doing double jet sweep reverses with Marquez Callaway. Like why? Like Taysom Hill is doing all sorts of, he's pitching the ball underhanded. Like why are you like you're doing all of this? You're doing everything you're supposed to do to get down to the field. And then all of a sudden, once you get inside, like, near the end zone, you start doing all this crazy, gimmicky, wacky shit. Like, I'm going to fool them instead of just doing what naturally got you down there. And I feel like, I'll tell you this, I feel like because of how crazy fucking week 15 was, I think more people are buying into it far too much. I kept telling everybody, I was like, don't look at Chris Moore. Look at who the Jags receiver is going to be going up against Kelvin Joseph. Now, I thought that they were going to leave Joseph in the slot, but they obviously took him out of the slot because fucking Christian Kirk runs out of the slot for the Jags. And what happened? Zay Jones blew up. What did Chris Moore do? He caught 4 fucking passes for 42 yards. It was a garbage time. He had a terrible matchup against L'Jarius Sneed, but nobody was listening to that because they were so caught up in doing like what the fucking mindless, senseless herd is doing. And they, when they hear it so much over and over again, they think that's what you're supposed to do. They think that's the norm. And I think that what we're dealing with right now is people who are like in the championship or, in their semifinals or whatever, are like freaking out and overthinking this way too much right now. Like they need to fucking chill.
Yeah, and it's not going to help with the weather this weekend either.
No, it's definitely not good. Did you see the weather? Good transition, Adam. Good transition. I feel like we could just zip to the games right now and talk about them. But let's hit the weather. Besides Cleveland, Adam, what else is upsetting?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that one is pretty bad. I mean, even Thursday night, MetLife, it's going to be windy and rain. Um, so I think the passing game could be a concern. But obviously, Cleveland and New Orleans, 25-hour winds, maybe up to 40, some snow. Atlanta, Baltimore looks like there could be some wind. Buffalo, Chicago as well. So just wait to the last minute because the same thing happened Saturday, Buffalo, Miami. I was getting questions with Waddle. I'm like, look, just wait. And then even you got to be careful too. I mean, this is we don't talk politics, but be careful what you see on TV and in the media because it's misleading. If you were watching the boring ass Browns Ravens game, they showed a picture of Buffalo and all the snow coming down. That wasn't a stadium. If you went on social media, there were people who took pictures of the field a couple hours before the game and said, hey, look, field is clear. No snow. All the snow was in the stands, as we found out when the fans were throwing snowballs. And then what happened? Most of the game, first 3 quarters, nothing. No snow, nothing. So if you made a mistake and benched those guys, that's on you, man. I get it. It's a Saturday. But you got to pay attention to these things. Wait, don't read the weather report 2 days before. Now, these winds look like they're going to be a factor, but it could easily change. Weather changes quickly. We all know that. Wherever you live, unless you get no rain, no snow, or nothing, then it's the same all the time. You don't know. But, being on the East Coast, man, like you see these things, and a lot of times it doesn't happen or it doesn't come at a certain time. So just wait till the last minute. And really the factor is the deep passing game. Okay. If you got a tight end, probably not going to be affected that much. He's probably catching 5-yard passes anyway. It's really the deep passing game. So a guy like Donovan Peoples-Jones, he's going to be affected more.
So, all right, let me let me ask you a question then, because you've got Trevor Lawrence ranked 9th right now. Like, it doesn't seem like you're too concerned with the weather.
Well, I mean, again, we talked about the quarterbacks. I mean, how many quarterbacks am I supposed to push over him? I know it's a tough matchup against the Jets too. That's concerning, but I mean, he's been playing very well, and I kind of have more confidence in him than some of the other guys.
Yeah. Is Lamar Jackson going to play? What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I put him in thinking he would come back, but he hasn't practiced. He didn't practice on Wednesday, so I'm starting to think he's not.
Yeah. Curious to see what happens there. Yeah, listen, I agree with you on the weather. Like, you have to wait until the last minute. I mean, I was sitting there, I was writing up the Cleveland game for Pickswise. And I was like, listen, currently right now, it's saying an inch of accumulation on the field, and it's saying, 30 to 35 mile an hour winds with gusts up to 40 and 50 miles an hour throughout the entire day. So I said, but that's now. You're going to have to check back a little closer to it. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, I mean, I think you have to, and we try to do this on the on that Sunday morning show. Is I've got people like scattered all over the country who tweet at me while I'm on the air to tell me what the local weather is like if there was supposed to be a situation. I got a dude who like drives Uber in Chicago. He always gives me, he'll like send me a picture. He'd be like, all right, I'm over at Soldier Field right now. This is what it looks like. I like having that boots on the ground kind of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm near MetLife, and looking at the weather for Thursday, rain is starting at 11 a.m. and it's showing 100%, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So, I mean, it's pretty much it's going to rain throughout the key is the wind, though. I mean, even when it's not very windy, the wind is pretty impactful at MetLife. So it's more, I mean, I'm playing Garrett Wilson in a playoff matchup. So I need him to come through. I actually am in that RT championship where I'm still alive for the overall, but again, team's not good enough, but I have Lawrence, so he'll be in there. I guess, I mean, look, it's a tough matchup. That Jets defense is no joke. That's a real interesting game, man. I mean, it's so huge. Jacksonville clearly playing excellent football. I thought they had a shot to win the division before the year, and then I looked like an idiot with the way they play. Now they control their own destiny. They win out. They're the division champs because they already beat Tennessee once, and they get them in week 18 and what potentially could be a Sunday night game, but this is going to be a really tough game. I know Zach Wilson isn't great, but this Jets defense is no joke. And that was a real tough loss for them last week on a stupid 4th and 1. They leave the tight end that wide open.
That was an abomination.
Yeah. So this is a real tough game. I mean, Jacksonville, look, if Jacksonville gets this W, they're winning the division. They're at the Texans now. I know you'd be like, well, it's the Texans division rival. If I'm not mistaken, isn't the Texans have beaten them like all the time? Yeah, they lost to the Texans this year at home, 13-6. If they win this game, they're winning out. They're winning the division. If they beat the Jets, they're at the Texans and then home to the Titans. And the Titans are reeling. Could be Willis. So this is the key game for Jacksonville. They got to get this W. It will not be easy. This Jets defense is no joke.
Jets D is no joke. I love hearing that. I love hearing that and knowing that it's coming from a very sincere place too.
I root for the Jets. I have no ill will towards the Jets. I hate the Giants as a Cowboys fan. So I have a lot of friends who are Jets fans, including you. I would love to see the Jets get in the playoffs. I hope so. I really do. I'll tell you this. I do not want to see Tennessee in. And as much as I've loved Baltimore all these years, they are boring as fuck and they suck. I don't want to see them get in. I really don't. When you talk about teams you want to watch in the playoffs, and I know the Jets aren't exciting, but they're a good defense. They have good young players. Garrett Wilson's awesome. So I would love to see the Jets in the playoffs. They've had a good year. I don't want to see New England in. I don't want to see Baltimore in. I don't want to see Tennessee in. Love to see Jacksonville in. Please get the Chargers in so they can, ruin my optimism once again. But from a watchability standpoint, those are the teams I want in. And it's the NFC too. Like I want Detroit in. Detroit's a fun team right now. I'd rather see them than shitty ass Tampa. Unfortunately, they're probably going to get in. I haven't seen anyone do a piece on this. Is this the worst division in the history of football ever, the NFC South? 4 teams right now. This is their point differential. -41, -38, -29, -27. This has to be the worst division in the history of football ever, right?
In the history of football?
Yeah. I mean, the first place team is 6-8.
Yeah.
I get they don't have.
I'm trying to think of AFC South at some point. I guess you had the Colts who were always good.
Right. I mean, I know you don't have a 1 or 2 win team. Someone could say, well, is it that bad? They have 3, 5, and 9 teams. But let's be honest, they're kind of beating up on each other in a way, and they all have negative point differentials. Like, anyway, all right, we'll look at that another day. But yeah, from a watchability standpoint, I'd much rather have Detroit in. I mean, the Giants and Washington are boring as fuck. Who wants to watch them?
Nobody.
Yeah. So. But it looks like the Ravens will probably get in somehow. But I would love to see the Jets get in. But they probably have to win this game, right, to get in.
Well, not probably. They have to win this game. I mean,
then at Seattle,
at
Seattle for the Geno Smith revenge, and then at Miami.
At Seattle for the Geno Smith revenge. Fucking. Oh my Lord. All right. Well, we got a very interesting set of slates coming up. Obviously, we've got the Thursday night football. And then we've got 10 games on Saturday, and then 3 games on Sunday, and then 1 game on Monday night. So really, really stretching it through the Christmas season here. So how about we go through the games, we make our picks. We wish everybody, a lot of ho, ho, ho and mistletoe. Bop on down to Shirley and Ron's place and get yourself some eggnog and make a couple of bets at the same time. Does that work for you?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, here we go then. Let's start with the Thursday night game. Jaguars, Jets. Jags are a 1.5 point dog. You just kept saying Jets D. I tell you, my lean is the Jags on the road only because, the Jets.
I have a real hard time in this game. I have no lean at all. I just don't. It's a game I would not bet if you're asking me to take someone.
I'm not asking you to take. So you don't have to listen. Jets are a -120 money line favorite. All right. Jags are +100. The fact that it's not a pick 'em and that there's actually a 1.5 kind of makes me crazy. I mean, it's, whoever, this is who's going to win the game. And I think the Jags kind of want it more.
I honestly really don't know who's going to win the game. I don't.
All right. Let's go to the Christmas Day slate, the Christmas Eve. You're okay. You're okay, Adam. Nobody's putting a gun to your head saying make a fucking pick.
I have to make it for my weekly pool. We pick every game, but let's see what I picked. I did it like a day. I just when they come out, I just make a pick and then I go back to it. And then after I do more research. So let's see who I picked.
Let's see what the instinct said, what the gut feel say.
The line has the Jets -0.5. I took Jacksonville +0.5.
There you go. All right. So there you go. We'll start off on the Saturday Christmas Eve slate, even though it's 1 p.m. It's not in the nighttime. Chiefs 10-point home favorite over the Seahawks. I don't understand how this point spread got so fucking big. You got Kenneth Walker coming back. Geno Smith.
Kenneth Walker did not practice today again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just came out like a couple minutes ago, actually. So, present at practice, but not doing anything early. So I guess they're waiting for it. But I thought I saw a follow-up after that said he didn't practice. And then DJ Dallas is back. So something to keep an eye on.
All right, something to keep an eye on. I still can't lay 10 points. Chiefs at home, they haven't been covering at home.
Yeah, they haven't been good. I mean, I know Seattle's kind of been floundering, but this is a big game for them. I'd have to take the points too.
Yeah. Buffalo, Chicago. It's going to be butt-ass cold there. Josh Allen did practice in full. Josh Allen and the Bills know how to play in the butt-ass cold. What's your lean?
I'm kind of surprised Justin Fields came back in the game last week, and I don't know why he's still playing, but he did talk about breaking Lamar Jackson's season rushing record. So I guess that's what he's playing for right now. He's been sacked 46 times this year. Oh man, Bills haven't been blowing teams out either, man. I'll take the points with the Bears. They find a way to keep it close, even though they have no wide receivers. Justin Fields is a magician. He'll find a way to break a big long run. I think the Bills win, but I'll take the Bears to cover, kind of similar to the game against Philly last week.
Okay. All right. Yeah, this is a tough one for me also, because I kind of, I know the Bills haven't been blowing teams out, but, it's Justin Fields and David Montgomery. And that's kind of, that's
Khalil Herbert will be back.
So, I mean, are we just looking at just going to run the ball down the throat of the Bills, slow this game down, kind of a situation there, kind of keep it on the under 40?
Yeah, right. Jeez. Dude, the totals this week are insane.
Oh, yeah, they're horrible.
The weather too, I guess, is why that total's low also. So
well, you know that the weather outside is frightful.
I know. I'm not even going to go out. Obviously it's not going to be as bad in New York, Jersey, although it looks like it'll be, oh my God, Friday morning, 12 degrees, Saturday, 10.
Oh, baby, it's cold outside.
Yeah, the lows for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday through Monday are 12, 10, 14, and 16. So it's going to go great. I'm going to get sick now. 55 on Friday, 21 on Saturday.
Oof, Saturday, Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable is, you not jumping in on the Christmas Carol singing here. You suck.
No, I'm not doing it.
Dude, you know what? I fucking hate Christmas music. I really do. Listen, because my birthday is the day after. It's like this whole time of year.
Yeah, you get screwed. I have a friend.
Dude, I fucking hate this time of year more than anything. I really do. I hate people while they're out shopping. I hate how crowded stores are. I hate Christmas music. I hate the cold. I don't like being cold. You don't worry about that anymore as much on the West Coast. Dude, when it's like 30 degrees here in the morning, it's fucking cold.
It gets that cold there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Damn, dude, come on.
I don't know. I've never been out to Cali. I have no idea.
Oh, you should come visit. You can stay here.
It. Yeah, where are you going to put me? In the shed?
Yeah, dude, you'd love the shed.
Okay.
You'd love the shed. I keep the shed. I got my space heater here in the shed. I keep the shed in a nice balmy 82 degrees.
That's too hot.
No, it's so good. So good.
I hardly use heat in my house. I haven't turned on the heat in my house for at least 3 weeks.
We don't turn on the heat in our house either. We have a fireplace though.
Well, I'm saying it's been 30 degrees here a lot lately. I still haven't put the heat on.
Oh.
If it hits 10 degrees this weekend, I might turn it on for an hour.
You're doing all that snuggling with your downstairs neighbor, isn't that? Right?
Oh yeah, that's it. Fucking. Oh wait, I don't know. Maybe she'll listen to the podcast to get ammo. Hi.
Hi.
Cincinnati. Hopefully I'm not making a lot of noise now.
I'm banging on the door. Cincinnati, they are traveling to the Patriots. Bengals are -3. I wrote this one up here for picks wise. And I'm going to favor the Bengals. They're 11-3 against the spread this year. They happen to be what are they? They're 8-3 when they're a favorite, and then they're like 5-2 when they're a road favorite against the spread. As much as I hate betting against Bill Belichick, I just think that the Bengals are hitting their stride. I think they got good shit going on. If Belichick focuses on taking out Jamar Chase and or Joe Mixon, you still have T. Higgins, you still have Samaje Perine, you still have Tyler Boyd. I think that the Bengals can, with a balanced attack, really make this happen. Patriots are not, and I think I said this, they're not the disciplined team that Bill Belichick is all about.
Well, just watch the last play of last week's game.
Exactly.
I could not believe that.
I'll tell you the funny thing is we had Andrew Siciliano on the show on Monday, and we asked him about that, and he basically turned around and was like, "Why isn't everybody shitting all over Ramondre Stevenson? Like, what the fuck was he doing?
It's
turning around and lateraling it in the first place."
Mind-boggling, man. I could not believe it when I saw it. And it could cost him a playoff spot. Yeah, I'm on Cincinnati here, man. Burrow is 18-3 against the spread his last 21 starts. The Bengals are 19-3 against the spread their last 22. This is a really good team. And if Kansas City loses one game and the Bengals win out, they're the top seed.
Yep.
This is a scary team. Like, if I don't think it's crazy to put money on them to win a Super Bowl right now. It's wide open. They obviously show no fear of Kansas City. I think they can beat Buffalo. They're a dangerous team. They're getting better. And Burrow is 17.
The Patriots offense not that good. Like,
it sucked, dude. We all knew this with Patricia in there and what they had in that game. They called a timeout when Jacoby Myers scored a touchdown. I mean, they're so out of sync, man. You could see it. Mac Jones is just furious. He's always upset. I mean, he sucks to begin with too. He does not play well. But yeah, I'm taking the Bengals here.
Beautiful. All right, let's keep rolling then. Detroit in Carolina. Lions are a 3-point road favorite. Who do you like?
I guess I'm a sucker for Detroit. I said 2 weeks ago I'm going to fall for Detroit against Minnesota. It was right. They covered. I know it's on the road. It's Carolina. They're just playing so well defensively. They've been really good against the run. We know that's what Carolina wants to do. They want to run the football. Is Sam Darnold going to beat them? I don't think so. So I will stay with the Lions, the red hot Lions. So I'll take Detroit -3.
All right, I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm taking Carolina with the points.
Yeah, you have an allegiance to Sam Darnold. I get it.
No, it has nothing to do with Sam Darnold. It has everything to do with – I mean, I think Darnold can be serviceable. I don't love him by any stretch of the imagination. I do think DJ Moore is a hell of a receiver. And I also like Terrace Marshall Jr. Just for quality. But it's a good enough passing game to get by in this one here. But yeah, I think if you can run hard with Deonta Foreman and Chuba Hubbard and really keep Chuba Hubbard incorporated in this offensive scheme, you're basically doing to Detroit what they were doing to everybody with Swift and Jamal Williams. So I think
but the Detroit has been stopping the run the last 4 or 5 weeks, and Foreman looked terrible last week. Foreman's not going to.
Well, last week, Zonovan Knight got hurt. He hurt his ankle. Okay. The 3 weeks before that, yeah, they've been fine against the run. The 3 games before that, though, I mean, all 3 are home games. The team is, it's like, to me, when you get those 3 straight home games, because we saw this, I think Washington had 3 straight home games also, that they were like on this like 7-1 tear or 6-1 tear over a 7-game span. And you looked and you were like, oh, look, 3 fucking straight home games for this team. Like in the middle of that. And I think that's kind of happened with Detroit too.
I know Goff is not as good on the road, especially in a cold temperature, but it's not like Darnold is either. So, I mean, look.
No. It's not like Darnold is either, but I'll take the Panthers defense winning this one in a close one. If I'm going to get points, I'm going to go with the better defense here.
You're just bitter because Detroit beat the Jets last week. I get it.
I'm definitely bitter about Detroit beating the Jets. It's not so much bitter, more is like, every single time the Jets show that they're not the same old Jets, the next week they come back and they show that they're the same old Jets.
Zach Wilson's a part of it.
Yeah, Zach Wilson is a part of it.
That's the thing. You guys are just like a quarterback away from really being a true contender.
Yeah. Well, good fucking luck to us. I'll tell you what, though, we do look like a great spot for a free agent veteran QB right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's if you're a free agent veteran quarterback in the NFL this offseason, go look at the Jets. Like we've got a receiving core for you. We've got draft picks. We've got a strong defense. We've got a supportive ground game. We got shit for you here. We got some good stuff. Good stuff. Giants, Vikings. Giants are a road dog here. 4.5 points. Minnesota. Boy, Minnesota's defense. You want to talk about a defense that's just falling apart.
Yeah, obviously the biggest comeback against the Colts on Saturday. That was an insane game. Saturday was just a great day of football outside of Cleveland, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Damn, so this was 3.5 before, so now it's 4.5. I just don't think the Giants are that good. And I loved the Giants last week against Washington getting to 4.5. I didn't get that. I told you that. I was like, these two teams played a couple of weeks ago. It was 2020. Like, why is Washington getting so much respect? And I know they caught a couple of bad breaks at the end, but man, I feel like I need to take Minnesota here, but 4.5 Giants. I guess though, because the thing is, what's Minnesota's weakness against the pass? Are the Giants going to be able to expose that enough with their weapons?
It's Daniel Jones to Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah.
I don't think it's great, but for the same token, we also turned around and we watched KJ Osborne shine like a diamond.
I will take Minnesota.
I actually kind of like Minnesota in this one here. I agree with you. The fact that it's up to 4.5 makes me a little bit nervous, but no, I think the Vikings here at home are a good spot to go. I also think, the problem is I think the Giants, I'll tell you what, in DFS, I'm playing Daniel Jones and Darius Slayton. I'm gonna pair them up, and then I'll have like Justin Jefferson coming back against them, and then I'll just build my DFS lineup around there. I'm picking up Graham Gano.
It's a good kicker.
Kickers have gone ham on the Minnesota Vikings over the last several weeks.
McLaughlin.
I picked up McLaughlin. Did you see my tweet?
Yeah.
Like 2 a.m. I'm taking a shit, looking at my phone, and I'm like, man, I had the Miami kicker. I'm like, I got to drop this fucking guy because of the weather. And I'll pick up. So I picked up fucking Chase McLaughlin, and this is the FSGA team. So now I'm like, fuck. Now I got to find another kicker here that's gonna work for me. So I got to go. So I have no fab left. So basically, at 12:01, I have to go to the site.
No, it's not 12:01. It's Thursday morning at 10 a.m. So 7 a.m. I have
to wait. Oh, that's good actually for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's good for me. I'll make sure that I do that. It's 10 a.m. Eastern.
Just double check. I'm pretty sure it's definitely not 12:01. I think it's 10 a.m. I can double check for you now, but I believe it's 10 a.m. Eastern. That's when first come, first serve starts.
All right. Well, I will be there.
Make free for all. Yep. Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern.
I will be there with bells on because I need a quarterback, and I'm going to go after Graham Gano.
Good luck.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Texans, Titans. Here you go. Titans are a 3-point favorite here at home against the Texans. Where are you going to lean?
I know Tannehill could be out, but I'll still take the Titans here. They really need this game badly. They are not playing good football. I was going to say Treylon Burks could be back, but that won't matter if Willis is at quarterback because you know what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball every play. We've seen this before, the same matchup a few weeks ago. So I know the Texans have played really well, against the Chiefs and the Cowboys. So they've not given up. You got to give them credit for hanging in there, even though they have no one right now. And Royce Freeman is a running back they featured last week. So I'll still take the Titans -3.
Yeah, I'm on the Titans minus the points also. All right, here you go. In what should be the day after tomorrow, but on a football field, the New Orleans Saints visiting the Cleveland Browns. We're told there's supposed to be an inch of accumulated snow on the ground during the game, not to mention the fact of 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts of wind. Obviously it's I'll tell you what, I'm still in on Cleveland. I'm worried about Chubb not playing because he didn't practice again today. But I look at the fucking Saints and the Saints just always manage to find a way to fuck things up. You run against Cleveland. They're are they going to do it? Will they make it happen? I'm going to say that Cleveland knows and is smarter about it. And we'll see a lot of, if not Chubb, then we'll see a lot of Kareem Hunt, who I think is a perfectly fine starting running back. Maybe it's splashing a little Dearness Johnson or whoever it is as the backup, but I'm going to give the edge to Cleveland here in a very low-scoring, disgusting game.
Yeah, I'm taking Cleveland too. Alvin Kamara's had a terrible year, man. It's funny because we kind of talked a little bit about this on the Better Sports Network, and this is something to keep in mind for next season. Alvin Kamara right now in points per game in PPR among running backs is 13th. That makes it seem like he's had a good year. He really hasn't. He has 3 touchdowns this year. They all came in one game.
One game.
And then I think he had another game of like 25. He's had a horrible year, man. So be careful when people, they do it with total points, which is the dumbest shit. Oh, well, he finished RB7. I don't care. That's total points. If a running back stays healthy for the entire season, of course they're going to be up there because other running backs get hurt. I still want to look at points per game over, but even with that, you have to look, okay, where's the distribution of points? If a guy has, Evan Ingram's going to probably be one of those too. Oh, he was tight end 4. Oh, yeah, well, he had like 50 points in one game. So just keep that in mind for when people talk about in the offseason. You got to take these things with context. So Kamara has not looked good, and I don't understand why he's not getting the ball. He doesn't have the same explosiveness, but when Mark Ingram and David fucking Johnson last week was getting carries early, and
I was dying.
Dude,
dying.
And my Kamara teams are dead. I only had him in 2 leagues, so I don't give a fuck.
I had him in all my GPP lineups. It was such a great matchup for him.
It does, like, dude, something is going on there. I don't know what it is. Then the week before, Ingram was already banged up his knee, and they're throwing Ingram on a key play late in the game, and he goes out of bounds and stop the clock. Helps Tampa get the game. So something is going on there. And I don't know what it is, but his usage boggles my mind. So I'm taking Cleveland too.
All right. Atlanta visiting the Ravens. Ravens are a 7.5-point favorite. Even with Huntley, if it's Jackson, I'm definitely in on the Ravens. Even if it's Huntley, I think this defense is just too much for Atlanta. I know that Tyler Algier had such a brilliant game last week and 130 plus rushing. I just don't think they're putting that up on the Ravens at all.
And I feel like this is a spot a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I got to take Atlanta with the points. Baltimore's been terrible, but this could be a game where their defense just suffocates them. Mm-hmm. And Dobbins, I know he's had 2 long runs where he kind of slowed down. The bottom line is he's still producing, man. He's been efficient. Yeah, he's not going to break off a 50-yard run for a touchdown, but he's picking up yards, and Edwards has been solid too. I played Gus. His prop last week was 37.5 rushing yards. I played that. So even Dobbins, I think, was 48.5. I didn't play it, but keep an eye on the Ravens running back props. They were too low last week.
They were too low last week. All right. So you're on the Ravens minus the points?
Yeah.
Okay. Washington, San Francisco in San Francisco. This line's been going between 7 and 7.5.
I don't care. I'm taking San Fran.
Yeah, okay, me too.
Come on.
I wrote this up for Pickswise.
Yeah, I mean, this team's a machine right now, and I know they might slip up somewhere, but Washington, they're just not that good. They really aren't.
I agree. And the
49ers are scary,
defense,
man.
49ers defense against Heineke? Come on.
Yeah, come on,
man. Eagles, Cowboys. It's a 5-point game. Cowboys are favored.
I'll take the Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles too. Minshew magic, baby.
I mean, look, if Hurts is out and I have Minshew in 2 playoff match, I'll take it. I hope Dallas wins, but all the pressure's on Dallas in this game, man. They're favored, they're home, no Hurts. And Philly's still a good all-around team. I mean, yeah, Hurts is a big reason for this success, but Minshew has had some success in the NFL. He's had some failures, but this is probably the best. I don't remember him having these type of weapons, man. And Goddard should be back. So, yeah, I'm going to take Philly with the points.
Yeah, me too. Saturday night special, Vegas Raiders at Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers favored by 2. I think I'm just going to take the Steelers.
Well, yeah, Franco Harris passed away, so.
Did he? Oh, Jesus. Yeah. When was that?
You're kidding, right?
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Okay, I figured that.
Well, no, I've been in a bubble.
It's okay.
I've been in a bubble.
All right, bubble boy. Yeah.
Moops. You said moops.
Yeah. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know in this game either. 2 shit teams. I guess I'll take Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Yeah,
am I going to watch this fucking game?
We'll go for the heartstrings. No, I'm not going to watch that.
I don't think I will either. There's no hoops on. I'm working
Christmas Eve.
I'm working that day till 5 anyway. Yeah, fuck it. I ain't watching that game.
There you go. You're working till 5 on Saturday?
I'm doing a Twitter takeover for SiriusXM Fantasy from 10 to 1, and then I'm on the Better Sports Network from 1 to 5.
There you go. I'm doing I think I'm doing a Christmas night show on SiriusXM.
I think you are.
What's that?
I think you are.
I am. I'm doing a Saturday night show on Christmas night, and then on Saturday morning I'm doing Saturday morning I'm doing that 7 a.m. fucking show that I usually do on Sundays.
Yeah, same thing with me. My Sunday show got shifted to Saturday. I said, all right, fine, I'll do it.
Right, exactly. All right, so those are the games on Saturday, Christmas Eve. Let's go to the horrible looking Christmas Day slate. Packers, Dolphins. Miami's favored by 3.5. I'll take the Fins.
Me too. I mean, I know people started to talk the Packers up and, they got a shot now. Come on, you guys beat the fucking Rams. Let's relax. Miami, you know what? I give Miami credit. They showed up in that Buffalo game. They played well. After not playing well against San Francisco and the Chargers, I thought they played well. Tua rebounded. Miami's home. Yeah, I'm taking Miami here. Yep. Fuck Green Bay.
Denver, 2.5-point favorite over the Rams.
I think you're taking the Rams, right?
No, I'm kind of leaning taking Denver here.
Yeah, I don't know how you could pick the Rams right now. I know they're home, but Baker Mayfield? Like, really?
Ben Skoranek just out for the season.
Their center's out.
They already had a shitty
line to begin with. Russ is back. Knowing Russ, he'll finish the season strong just to fuck with people.
That'd be great.
And Sutton might play too. Yeah, I'll take Denver, but I'm not putting my money on this game.
I'll take Denver, and I won't put money on it either. Tampa Bay, Arizona, 7.5 points, man. But it's Trace McSorley.
I know, man. Like, Tampa's so bad, but Arizona could be the worst team in football right now. I mean, the Texans are playing better than them. So I hate doing it because if you would ask me 3 weeks ago, I'd be like, I will not lay 7.5 points with Tampa against anyone. But in this case, how do they not?
James Conner is not going to be able to do it all by himself.
Right.
And here's the problem. What do you do with DeAndre Hopkins in fantasy? Fucking, it's like semifinals and playoffs. Like, how do you sit DeAndre Hopkins? Yet, how do you start him with McSorley under center?
Yeah, man. I think it depends on what you have, but it's hard to sit the guy.
Yeah,
it's a bad situation though. It's tough for anyone to be in.
Sorry, peoples. Monday Night Football, Colts, home dogs, 5 points, Chargers, Nick Foles under center for the Indianapolis Colts. I'll take my home dog, Adam.
Yeah, I'm going to do it too. Just when you're ready to say, here come the Chargers. They didn't even play well against Tennessee. Everyone was in on those guys for DFS and props. I had a Mike Williams prop, and I got lucky to hit that with those 2 plays on the last drive. So, yeah, I mean, I think the Chargers win, but they're not going to make it easy, so I'll take the Colts with the points.
Yep. Yeah, Chargers can win this game. I don't give a shit about that, but 5-point favorite? No, not in my world. Nope. It's going to come down to Dicker the kicker. 23-20. How about that? All right, well, so there you go. Those are the games. It's what we got. I think we're pretty well set there. As always, guys, you can listen to Adam on the Better Sports Network. You can listen to me on SiriusXM. Follow Adam on Twitter at Adam Ronis. You can follow me on Twitter at RotoBuzzGuy. You can find us both all over the place at fantasyalarm.com and Pickswise.com as well. Adam, any parting shots before you go away for the holidays?
No, I hope everyone has a great holiday, enjoys it. Whether you spend time with family, friends, whatever you do, just, enjoy these moments. And good luck in your fantasy championships if you get there as well.